My name is Cecilia. I was probably going into my junior year of high school. I had just come back from my dad's house and I was just having a hard time. I was just really discouraged, and I was left to deal with it on my own. I didn't have anything greater than myself to really help me through that. I didn't know where to go. I didn't have that. I didn't have anybody that I could always count on, anybody that I could, truly trust and just talk openly to about, my struggles and things like that. So I got a phone call from my mom's cousin, and she was helping out with FCA on Monday nights, and they were having it at her house on that week, and so she invited me to come out, and that's when I met Jason and just was in that atmosphere and part of that group. And Jason asked me that night to go to Colorado with them on their trip for the summer, and I'd always gone to church growing up. My family went to church every Sunday and prayed before meals and things like that, but that was kind of where it ended, and there wasn't that. I never experienced that relationship with Christ that I have now, and I would say in Colorado that summer was when I first was really introduced to that and that just the idea of that. And ever since then, I've grown a lot. So that was really the first time that anybody really talked to me about that. I think it was all in that week. It happened pretty quick that I realized that I need Christ in my life. I can't go through this on my own and just have myself be the one who gets me through everything, because when things get hard and when things are good, it's not just me here. I have Christ with me, wherever I go, and that's the biggest change that I've seen or noticed and felt now that I have Christ in my life versus when I didn't. So I've been on a total of 5 trips now with Youth for Christ, and the past 3 I've technically been in the volunteer category. In this summer we went to Kentuckiana down in Louisville, Kentucky, and that was the first trip that I really felt like I actually was a volunteer and I actually was a leader. And it was just I was put in that position where I was expected to be a leader for the kids on the trip. And so this trip was probably the best one that I've ever been on. Just not just because I was a leader, but I just saw God work so much in it, and so it was really cool to be in that different position this year. When we got to our hotel, and I think it was the following morning, so our first morning that we were actually there, the YFC leaders pulled the volunteers aside and just kind of talked to us about what we should be expecting this week and what their ideas were. And they said that some of us would be, we were all going to be pushed, but some of us would be pushed in just praying before a meal. Others would be sharing their testimonies, and a couple of us would be asked to do the teaching and lead the devotional at night. And as soon as they said that, I just kind of knew, I guess, that I would be one of the ones who would be asked to lead a devotional. And later on that day, Jason did ask me to do that. Really encouraging to see how he can use circumstances from my past and past struggles and things that I thought were horrible and that could never be used for any good. And on this trip and even now, I've seen him use them for good and to encourage other people, and then that in turn encourages myself. And so it's just really cool to grow in that walk with Christ and to see how he can really take anything and use it for his glory and for his good and to further his kingdom. So I've learned that a lot lately, and I've just seen him use things that I would never expect, and they're all to further his kingdom. If I had not become involved with YFC or gone to any of the youth group things, I don't think I would really have a relationship with Christ today. I would probably be still, going to church every Sunday and praying before meals and things like that, but I don't think it would be real to me. I think it would just be something that I do just to check it off my list. I don't think it'd be something that I would desire to do because I wouldn't have really been introduced to that relationship and in Christ, really. So I think, life would just be pretty cut and dry, where I would just, go to church on Sundays and that'd be the end of it. And so without YFC, that's where I would be. So YFC has just introduced me to Christ and changed my life in